Okay, now, broadsword lesson number 2. We're going to be doing very, very basic fishing line cuts with weight shifts. First, we should talk about the targets. The targets for the high line and the low line attacks are the exact same targets for quarterstaff. Let me show you what I mean. So in broadsword, we have 4 basic lines of attack. We have the high lines of attack, which are the shoulders. So specifically, the target is below the deltoid muscle in the center of the upper arm, 12 inches offline. So right here and right here. The low line targets are the hips. We are at the base of the hips, or the glute muscles, or the pockets. So right here, and once again, 12 inches offline. So here and here for the low line targets, and here for the high line targets. But the big difference, in quarterstaff, our attacks were coming down and up at 45-degree angles. In broadsword, that's not incorrect, it's just not the default choice. Diagonal attacks in broadsword are known as historic cuts. And they're a more advanced technique because they require more challenging parries to deal with. So we are going to be starting with the standard 4 lines of attack, the high lines and the low lines. And for these, the attacks are going to be horizontal to the ground, parallel to the ground, fully horizontal. It is as if we are sliding the weapon along the top of a table. And the difference between the high line and the low line is extremely small. It's a very small change of the angle of the wrist and the forearm. Very, very small. One of the most common issues in broadsword is that people's high line targets will start to creep up and up and up and go from down here to up here. And once you're up here, you are now threatening your partner's face, which is the #1 safety rule. We never, ever, ever want to threaten our partner's face. So we need to keep the sword down. Keep those high line targets nice and low in the middle of the upper arm. Do not let them creep up and up and up and get above the deltoid muscle and up into the face territory. Now, also important is we don't want to threaten our partner's knees. So the low line attacks need to stay relatively high. They cannot go down here and start threatening our partner's knees. Keep those low line attacks high, keep the high line attacks low. Very, very small, subtle difference between the two. Just a few degrees. Very, very small difference. Okay, so now let's look at fishing line cuts. Just like with quarterstaff, our intent is to cast the energy of our weapon offline and past our target. Again, you can visualize having a piece of chewing gum or a little drop of water on the tip of your weapon, and you are trying to flip that chewing gum or that water past the partner. There's a natural stopping point to the sword as we extend and flick past and offline. Okay? So here's what these fishing line cuts are going to look like. I'm going to start off in my en garde position with the sword pointed down. Okay? I'm going to start with my partner's right shoulder. And I'm going to go shoulder, hip, hip, shoulder. So first, I'm going to make eye contact and then spot the target. I'm going to weight shift back. And as I weight shift back, I'm going to bring my blade offline and bring it up to prep this attack. This shows my partner what I'm going to do, and it puts the sword into a safe position to do it from. Now, as I'm ready to commit to the attack, I'm going to drop the tip of the blade flat onto a tabletop surface. I am going to weight shift forward as my partner weight shifts back and extend and flick the blade offline and past my partner. Then, as I come back and recover from this, I weight shift back, bring the tip of the blade down, bring it onto the other side as I spot my new target. I now weight shift back, bring the tip of the blade up, and it's pointing offline, so I'm not bringing it across my partner's face. I drop the tip of the blade flat onto a tabletop surface. My partner weight shifts back, I weight shift forward with them, and flick, bringing the sword to a natural stopping point offline. Now I want you to notice a few things as I do this. First of all, I am keeping the blade flat like this so that the true edge of the blade is coming in. So that I am attacking here with the true edge of the blade. I am not trying to slap my partner with the flat of the blade. That makes no sense and is bad for the sword. So keep it nice and flat, snapping that way. Okay? I'm also keeping my shoulders and upper body relaxed as I weight shift forward and flick. Okay? My blade is not doing a roller coaster up and down or a sine wave. It is staying nice and flat, and I end fully extended with a straight line from my shoulder to my wrist to my sword. It's very common that I see people bringing the sword in. They will swing like this, and they will end with their arm looking like this, not a straight line. Line goes from here to my wrist and then changes direction and goes like that. It needs to end straight line, like this, fully extended, offline. That way, I'm sending the energy of the weapon out, and I am not bringing the energy of the blade in. Do not end like this. I will make you do it again over and over and over, as many times as we need to, for you to flick the weapon past your partner, not bringing it in. Okay? So, let's start again with the high lines and then go into the low lines. So, I start in en garde position, sword floating in front of me, tip pointed down. I bring the tip offline as I go from making eye contact to spotting my target. I weight shift back and I bring the tip of the blade up. Then I drop the tip of the blade flat onto a table surface. By the way, my sword is not back here. I'm not pulling back. My sword is floating in front of me. Okay? My partner weight shifts back, I weight shift forward, extend and snap, fully extend, relaxing the shoulders. I weight shift back, drop the tip of the blade, bring it to the other side so I spot the other target. I weight shift back and I bring the tip of the blade up, offline, so as not to cross their face. Drop the tip of the blade flat on the ground, they weight shift back, I weight shift forward and extend and snap. Then I bring the tip of the blade down as I weight shift, bring it over to the other side, spot my other target, which is the hip, weight shift back, bring the tip of the blade up, drop it flat on the table, my partner weight shifts back, I weight shift forward, and snap and flick offline, and then I weight shift back, dropping it down, spotting the new target, bringing it up, they weight shift back, and flick flat on the table. And I can keep doing this over and over. Okay? In fact, that's what I want you to do. I want you to go through those 4 targets twice. Shoulder, shoulder, hip, hip, 2 times in a row without stopping. I want to see good weight shifts forward and back. I want to make sure that the tip of the blade never crosses your partner's face. And I want to see good full extensions. Let me show you what it looks like from the other angle now. So here we are, tip of the blade down, offline, weight shift back, and fishing line cut, fishing line cut, fishing line cut, fishing line cut, and then I go through it a second time, keeping my high lines nice and low, and my low lines nice and high. There we go. So, that's what I would like to see for this video, please. All 4 parries, shoulder, shoulder, hip, hip, in that order, twice through. Thank you.